Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to the podcast. This is Technical Tim, and I'm here with Gugabe. How's it going, man?
Yeah, not too bad. How are you?
Not bad. We finally have we've had like two cards in the last 5 or 6 weeks, I feel, and now we actually have starting next week for this Houston Jones card. We actually have, I think, pretty much a card every weekend for a
Yeah, I think
while.
there's like 1 week off in the mid at some point there, but it's like I think like 12, 11 weeks or something of UFC.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad we're back to normal again. It's been kind of a boring at times, not having
Correct.
any fights going on. But we can briefly. I'll timestamp for the listeners if you don't want to listen to the recap. But we'll kind of just recap the Blades de Santos card, and then we'll go into UFC 247, which is in Houston. The first fight, I forgot about this card, but it's because it's been a little bit. But Herbert Burns and Nate Landwehr. This was kind of just a mess, I feel.
Yeah, I played the under and Lamwer. I felt like Lamwer's striking condition would probably be a bit higher percentage than the sub, but then again, Lamwer almost did get immediately subbed, and then Burns just fished a miracle knockout out of his ass. So like, yeah, but the under was free money. Like the RTD opened at plus 120.
Yeah, for sure.
It closed at minus 200. It closed at like minus 250. So I was just like, yeah, if I could got like real money for the RTD, I
Yeah,
would have. I could have swore. I actually swore I tipped it, but I didn't. I ended up not getting around to tipping it. I thought I had.
I feel
Because
like
like that was classic binary RTD.
yeah, it was weird because I feel like Burns had just been hurt before that, and he just kind of
Yeah,
landed a knee with his, or he kind of like randomly landed the knee with his eyes closed. I feel like I had no cash on it, and I just thought it was kind of like I feel like if they fought 100 times, it would just kind of be chaos every time, and either guy could win.
yeah.
Um,
The way I saw it was like Burns getting a sub was probably like a 45% outcome. Burns getting KO was like 2% outcome, but yeah, for some reason we just got the KO outcome.
I just feel like there's a lot of outcomes for each guy to win, like so it's
Yeah,
just kind
definitely.
of whatever. Like I just feel like it's a pretty high variance fight. Um, Johnson Gravely. Honestly, this is a pretty fun fight. Back and forth grappling.
Yeah, one fight at night. Yeah, it's
Oh,
pretty good.
yeah.
Yeah, entertaining. Gravely had a brief rally, but I never. I think I ever actually got around to tracking down the scorecards to this one. I was curious whether round two was Gravely or not. Like I had no real vested interest in it. I think I had a GTD, which
Yeah.
missed by a small margin. Yeah, Gravely just kind of got out hustled, but yeah, he had a decent showing. I think they're both interesting going forward. I bet Johns will still get struggle from just lacking the real A game to really push him into the top 10.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he is a good mid. He's a good sort of upper mid tier bantamweight. But I just don't think what is he good enough at to really bring himself to the real title contention.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he's a decent athlete, but he's not a plus athlete. He's a decent grappler, but he's not really a holy fuck, this guy's a world champion. You know, Mundial's winning world championship level grappler, and same for his wrestling and striking.
Yeah. His
He's
wrestling
just
actually did impress me a little bit here, but still, like, there's guys at bantamweight you just can't out wrestle, So I think this fight was kind of like it looked pretty competitive, and Johns just kind of had the submission grappling advantage to where he would like put in a body triangle or something, and kind of put the more dangerous positions on him. But I totally agree. Johns is like a solid B fighter, I feel, and I mean, if he's like minus 170 versus any newcomer, that's always like a good spot. But I just feel like guys like Aljo in the top tier are always just going to be a little too good.
Yeah, I think Johns will probably just kind of be a top 20 gatekeeper, or like he'll sort of float between 20 and 10, depending on how good a run of recent matchups he's had, or how a few sort of how a few pivot points go for him. He'll probably sit there for like 5, 6 years. He's
Yeah,
one of these guys like Bisping. It might be a thing where just at one point in fight in a 6 year period, the stars align and he gets a title shot. Between either there's a dominant bantamweight champion and everybody's kind of cleared out, or just he happens to get some sort of low percentage wins over better guys.
yeah,
But I think Johns will be a good bet in the future. I think Johns will generally be a good bet in the future because you know what you're getting from him. He's very consistent. He just kind of occupies an important niche.
yeah, for sure.
Like he's not Jeremy Stevens, but I could see him sort of occupying that sort of niche from a betting point of view, where it's just like I know what I'm getting from this guy.
Yeah, yeah, and he can maybe hang around. I feel.
Yeah.
McMahon and Landsberg. I I had a, I I'm kind. It's I don't know. I don't want to be. I'm not a hindsight guy. Like you know, I kind of did have a feeling this was going to happen, but but what's she going to do? Like but the thing is, at the same time, when McMahon wins, she always dominates. Like uh,
Sure.
so like I feel like any time she really wins, except maybe like Lauren Murphy or something, she pretty much is always winning. So any win from her is going to be a little dominant. So I don't know if that makes sense, but
Yeah.
I feel like when she loses, it's just like her falling on her back against Misha Tate or something, or just kind of like her getting hit with one strike and turtling up, shit like that. But I had a feeling Landsberg couldn't defend actual real takedowns kind of below the waist, and that's kind of what happened.
Bunch of lazy bookmakers got bailed out in a McMahon sub mistake. Like I had McMahon sub and sub decision, so I sub decision because of the sub because they mispriced sub, they priced sub slash decision at like plus 140,
Yeah.
which was good. But yeah, that's way EV. But also just like if Landsberg had actually tried to win that fucking fight, she probably would have gotten tapped.
Yeah,
Like Landsberg was just willing to lie back and think of sweet.
she was just she was just locking down on the leg too.
Yeah, she just fought not to get finished. She was just like, oh, I probably lost this fight, so I'm just going to humdy dum.
Yeah.
No point was she like, oh fuck, I might as well take a risk and actually try to win this fight.
Yeah. The McMahon's takedowns are still really legit. Like
Correct.
you don't see those in women's MMA really. Like Tatiana Suarez kind of changed stuff up, and she's really high level. Like I don't know for the listeners, McMahon was she took silver in the 2004 Olympics, and then Suarez was like on her level. She was getting like top 3 at the Worlds, so they're probably in similar tiers. But as far as like chain wrestling, Suarez is probably better at that than McMahon. But as far as just like one shot, McMahon's just like her double leg or just like one explosion. It's probably the best in the sport. But she kind of has other weaknesses that kind of fuck her up a little bit.
Yeah.
But
Jackson Calares.
this was I think Montel broke a record for most takedowns in like a bantamweight fight or something, or like right around there. I think he had like 11 or 12.
Yeah, I didn't know that, but that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that should have been stopped between round 2 and round 3, to be honest. Like, yeah, Calares had come back a bit in the third round, but like,
Yeah. I do fear for Montel in some of the grappling against a kind of like I just feel like sometimes he gets put in like guillotines or gives up his back, and against a real good grappler, they can maybe take advantage. But he's still, like Montel's pretty legit.
yeah, agreed.
Like he's solid.
Yeah, like, yeah, just big dude. It's hard to deal with that. Jackson versus Johns would be honestly be pretty interesting.
Yeah, it'd be fun. I think I'd probably take Jackson there, but
Yeah, like I think that'd be sort of a good, sort of fairly evenly matched fight.
yeah, it would I'd be fine with that matchup. And then Justine Kish and Pudilova.
I have no strong opinions. Honestly,
Yeah.
I went to get breakfast while this was happening.
I literally left the room. I didn't care before or after, and it's just I figured it would just kind of be an uneventful women's MMA fight. The thing is, Pudilova has had some fun fights against like Aldana, but she kind of looked bad in this fight.
Yeah.
Allen and Lentz, this was a fun fight. I thought Allen looked I thought both the guys looked pretty good.
Yep. Yeah, it was decent. Allen's volume was a bit of an issue again. Like I thought after watching the Melendez fight, maybe he was going to start putting striking volume up. Like
Yeah.
it was kind of ridiculous how he in round 3 just didn't do anything for the first 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Like he could have legitimately he ended up doing enough in the last 3 minutes to round to like pull himself back from the fire. But it was possible that was 19-19 fight. He didn't do anything for 2 minutes.
Yeah, it was one of those like mid third round. I was kind of like, Allen looks a lot better, and he's done more. You know what I mean? Like he looks like the better fighter here. But I could see if just Lentz has a moment here, he could probably maybe win 2-1. But Allen, and then kind of Allen, I remember poured it on a little bit towards the end, so he took it. But
but Lenton didn't even need a moment. Like Allen needed the moment to pull the fight back.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, if Allen just continued to stare at him, it could have been. What was the final? How did the judge score that one?
29-28, 2-29-28, 3-27.
Because
I felt round 1 and round 3 are both pretty 50-50.
Interesting. The scorecards are kind of
yeah. Lentz got round 3 on one card and round 1 on another. So it turned out Allen would have won regardless. But but I still think it was reasonable that the judges could have had that 19-19 going into the third.
Yeah, agreed. Because that round 1 was close.
Yeah.
Like I like Allen's hands. He's good at people coming in. He has good takedown defense. But I do feel like he's been improving though, so that's good. But he needs to be a little more urgent at times, I feel. Lewis and Townsend, sorry.
Yeah. I do think Emmett would have beaten Allen based on that performance.
I'd have to think about it.
He just looked I just think that Lentz, this guy, I just feel like Allen defensively showed a bunch of issues against Lentz, so Emmett would have just kind of taken his head off at some point.
Yeah, that's always a risk with Emmett. Emmett hits really hard. Lewis and Townsend, Lewis.
Who cares?
Yeah, who cares? I rolled with some juice like early line on Lewis, and it was just, Townsend's just not very good. But Hill and Stosic.
I took a swing at Stosic no scorecards because I felt like Stosic would lose the decision pretty consistently. You know, a bet we need to have some form of like no finish bet. So like you just bet purely scorecards.
Yes.
No scorecards.
Yeah.
I think there'd be a ton of value in those.
That would be because I feel like round winning is easier to predict than finishing sometimes. Like I feel like, so I would like that. But I thought I like Hill on the feet. You know, he actually does shit and he kind of stays long with his offense, but he does look a little vulnerable on the mat. You know.
And also, he's very defensively open as well. Like, Stosic did hit some fucking massive shots at him whenever Stosic felt like it was time to throw its punches.
I do think Hill could be good if he doesn't like run into guys who kind of damage him up a lot. You know, I feel like he's got some good stuff. It's just he's definitely got some holes. I feel like he could develop. You know, but yeah.
You can be a mid-tier light heavyweight. Like, how many strikes? You know, 101. You don't have 101 stick strikes at light heavyweight. He's defensively open. He'll probably get his head taken off a few times, but just being a fairly busy striker at light heavyweight and having decent cardio is enough to win your fights.
Yeah, for sure. That's kind of what I was maybe thinking he could be going into this fight, and I feel like he does need to. I mean, I guess there's not a ton of killer wrestlers at light heavyweight, but there definitely are a couple. You know.
Like he could have a meme fight against Krylov or something like that.
Yeah.
Guys like Krylov, Walker, and others are still sort of ranked at light heavyweight. So or even Anthony Smith, who's kind of very similar to Anthony Smith is really a similar skill set to Hill.
Honestly, I think Hill could win that fight.
Anthony Smith, go please. No, Anthony Smith is incredible.
I like it.
That round 3 slap over those to me was one of the easiest predictions of all time.
I do like the thing with Hill is like when he goes up against like a Glover, like Glover can get him down and really make him pay. You know.
100%.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of guys at light heavyweight who just get done by a Glover like that.
Yeah.
That's kind of Glover's function. That's why Glover still works, because there's just people who are just awful off their backs.
It's hilarious. He is making like a late run in his 40s by just taking people down. Although against Krylov, he actually struck, and even Kudalaba at times, he kind of stayed in the pocket and showed pocket punching still, but he's dominated a lot of guys by just taking them down.
Yeah, 100%.
Angela Hill and Cyphers. I had a bet here on Hill. For the listeners, also Gugabe and I actually both played Hill TKO at plus 1,000, like small untracked. And I mentioned the line to you just like a few fights before it. I just, um, and I just felt like. I just feel like Angela Hill's a little underappreciated. Like she's kind of just an average strawweight, and I thought Cyphers was kind of she was coming off 2 wins versus girls who just aren't very good strikers, And I feel like she's just kind of lower level strawweight, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
I played Hill ITD because I was like, it was plus 520 for ITD and like plus 900 for KO, and I'm like, finish is probably going to be ground realized, and I don't want to be fucked on a random club and stuff.
Yeah.
Or just like a shitty, because like if Cyphers had just given up her back in that exchange, it wouldn't have shocked me.
Yeah, it was just one of those things where this was like my basis of like I think everyone understands my basis on just a money line play, but even just like the TKO, the way I saw it was like Hill lands over 100 strikes almost every fight, and Barber kind of just killed her, killed Cyphers, and I felt like I don't know, maybe Cyphers just won't respond to a lot of volume by getting overwhelmed. Well,
Yeah. Even like if like Hill versus Barber happens, I'd be happy to play Hill if she was like plus 200, which you probably would be.
Yeah, like she
Barber would be like minus 400 against Hill for no reason.
Yeah, Hill always competes just well on the feet,
Yeah, against what's it called, Andrade. That was a war.
Yeah, like in just a pure striking fight, Hill's really, really tough, so she's hard to put away, and then she just consistently lands, and she's just tough as fuck too, so yeah.
Yeah. Perez Espinoza, the half guard arm triangle. Like, you shouldn't be saying that in a flyweight. Like Perez is good, but come on, the half guard arm triangle. Be serious.
Yeah,
have some dignity and give him side control.
Didn't you have Perez sub?
I had the under.
Oh, I gotcha.
I think I might have had some Perez sub. I think I just chucked a bunch of under and sub. I was like, the chance. I think Perez had today in the under 2.5. I was like, Perez could knock him out, could sub him.
Yeah,
I wasn't really expecting a half guard arm triangle choke, which how often do you see those? I think the last time I can think of one happening was fucking Northcote versus Barberena.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm a big dude. If you have that shoulder pressure, though, you can sometimes get it. But yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, I'm a big dude, and I've struggled to get those in the past. It's just like you're just squeezing.
Yeah.
Deal with it. Chiesa versus RDA. That was sad in round 3.
I had a feeling, man.
I
think. I just had a feeling that I knew those takedowns would land, and it was really a matter of. I do feel like this is a round sequencing type of fight, though. Where if like Chiesa just happens to get a takedown late and end on top, it will look good for him. And if RDA happens to get up and land a few strikes at the end of a round, he could win one too. So I feel like it's a pretty close fight going forward. But I like Chiesa obviously has holes, but at least he just has a process to his game. Like what you're gonna get.
My issue with RDA was like there was a point in round 3 where he just kind of he sort of moved into the deep half guard sweep. And you could just see athletically just no longer had it. Like he had the deep half guard sweep. Like he had it.
Yeah, I thought he was going to get up in that moment. Yeah.
Yeah, he had textbook deep half guard, and you just saw his face, and he was like, "Wait, I just no longer energy."
Yeah.
Like, that's always sad to say.
Yeah.
Like RDA is top 20 of all time, and just that moment where he just no longer has it.
Yeah.
And Chiesa he's underrated, but he's kind of goofy, and I still think that fight, even with RDA kind of being in the dish he was a bit 50-50-ish. Like RDA dominated all the striking exchanges.
Yeah, it's I just feel like it's one of those. It's a round sequencing type of fight. It's a binary fight. It's kind of like who gets their game going in the right moments. And yeah, it was sad seeing RDA lose though, because I'm a fan of him. But
I think the RDA that fought Covington wins that fight pretty resoundingly. Because you could see like RDA was still like savvy on the ground. Like the fact he almost got that sweep was just enough to say, all right, RDA still has the grappling knowledge. So like in the pure grappling match, I'd still favour RDA technically. He just didn't have the energy in round 3. It wasn't RDA like minus 800 going into round 3.
Against who?
Chiesa. Like it was crazy. Live odds are crazy. Like everywhere tuned RDA would just get dominated from there.
Oh, I didn't see the live odds. It's I don't know. It's weird with RDA because I feel like the Colby and Usman fight probably took a little bit out of him, but I thought he looked fine against Lee. Like he looked like RDA versus Lee, and then against Leon, I played Leon there, and Leon kind of just did what I thought he would do, and then I don't know. I just feel like even the RDA versus Lee could have been fine here, but I don't know. He looked a little declined here for sure, though.
Against Lee, I felt like he wasn't really pulling the trigger on the feet as much as I expected him to. So that was kind of one of the main reasons I didn't play RDA.
Yeah.
Like my first knee jerk when I heard it was announced, like this should be an RDA slam dunk, and I was like, Chiesa could kind of get like a ugly cage pushy sort of split decision sort of thing.
It was those body lock TDs that were really like Leon hit multiple on RDA, and I was like the takedowns are gonna land, and Chiesa's what like plus 200. I was like I'm not interested in RDA.
And even the tired like Lee was still hitting takedowns.
Yeah.
Like he collapsed in round 4. He just gave up the ghost in round 4. But like prior to that, like even round 3 and all that, Lee was just kind of muscling takedowns.
Yeah.
RDA. Is he in your top 20 of all time? Probably a little bit lower.
I don't really. I've never like put a list together. I kind of know who my top few are. I mean, I'm sure. Like I think highly of RDA. I guess that's my answer. I don't know.
He's definitely sort of Hall of Fame sort of level.
Yeah, he's really good. I think he has no holes really. He's kind of just been bullied by some good wrestlers. That's like his main hole. But that's like he's gone against the best wrestlers.
Yeah,
like Khabib, Colby, Usman. Those are probably 3 of the top 5 wrestlers, just like roughly.
Yeah.
And he's gone all. He's gone up, and like even like Kevin Lee is a good wrestler. Like he's gonna get some monsters.
Yeah. So Blades versus JDS. That was kind of weird. Like Blades versus JDS, my feeling was Blades probably wouldn't be able to get the takedowns he'd like, but Blades just kind of just out hustled him and out begged him on the feet, I guess.
So I hit Blades at minus 200 after round 1 because what I saw was I like JDS's first layer TDD and it was kind of showing, but he looked really just kind of unathletic when it came to everything else. And I was like, he's probably going to either A, tire, or I just could see him getting hit hard here. Like I did not like the look for him. And the way I saw it was Blades was like less than a favorite. He was lesser of a favorite after round 1 than he was pre-fight. And what I saw in round 1, I actually was happy with Blades,
Yeah, because Blades won around on the feet. He wasn't getting takedowns, but like it wasn't like he was getting picked off by JDS.
JDS looked really kind of like shot, in my opinion.
Yeah. JDS is
athletic. Yeah.
Like he just isn't that quick anymore. Like I think honestly, like 2014, JDS could have beaten Blades here. Because like Blades wasn't really getting takedowns going, and I think the younger JDS would have been a lot quicker and crisper with striking.
Yeah, I could have
seen JDS just didn't have it.
Yeah, he looked pretty shot. That was sad. I'm a big JDS fan too, so that was sad to see too. Just seeing RDA and JDS back to back. But let's go to UFC 247. We can start with the first fight of the night. No interest for me. Andre Ewell and Jonathan Martinez.
I played Martinez early at plus 125 because I was like, Ewell's grappling game is so bad he can just drop rounds and fights off any form of takedown. And Martinez can kick like that. I think Martinez 60 but like minus 130, 40-ish favorite.
Yeah.
Like I have no strong conviction. I think Martinez is a bit busier, a bit more tools in the game, and Ewell's grappling is just such a huge liability. You can't really be favored against any other UFC competition.
Yeah, I just kind of think they're both kind of lower tier bantamweight, and I don't know. like I could see either guy winning. I guess that's all I'm trying to say.
I'm not saying Martinez is a lock, but I think he's got a bit more options and less glaring holes than Ewell.
Yeah.
Ewell's got Ewell's grappling is a massive glaring hole, and like Ewell got the shit kicked out of him by Vera, and he's like one of the few people to really get dominated like Vera by Vera like that. Like Vera usually memes around for a good 7 minutes. Against Ewell, he just took him out from moment one.
I guess if Martinez went for takedowns more, I would like his play more, but I could easily see him not going for takedowns and losing a striking fight. Yeah. And then also like not interested in Andre either because of, you know, the reasons you've said. So I'm just kind of whatever. But Austin Lingo and Zalal, I have not taped this one. This is a new fight that they threw on the card because they're losing some. I don't think you took a look either, so we could skip it.
I had a very quick look at Lingo. If I get play anything, it'll probably be Zalal because I feel like he's only dog because he's got two decision losses on his record. While Lingo's mostly just been picking off shitty competition in the first round. Probably going to be a mess. Like plus 225 and what should essentially be a regional level mess is probably the side. But yeah, no strong convictions. I'll probably do some more tape. And Zalal's been deeper than Lingo a few times. Like Lingo's only been decision twice, I remember, and it's only been past first round once.
Yeah.
So like, you probably get a wild, messy fight, and I'll probably take the guy with a bit more sort of proven distance experience and deeper. Zalal has later finishes and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm guessing like it's probably just lazy cap, just going, oh, this guy's got 2 losses, this guy's undefeated. Clearly, the undefeated guy is better.
I wiki cap this just for purposes of because I knew we were going to talk about it. I will tape. I just haven't been able to because it just kind of got announced. But like Lingo has lost on the amateurs too. So
he got knocked out, which is particularly an issue.
But I don't even know how these guys fight or anything, so I have no idea. But Pilarte and Newson, I know some people who I really respect who are going big on Pilarte, but he's way longer, so I kind of like understand the pick. Like he's got a ridiculous reach and height advantage here. I forget exactly what it was, but when I was taping, my issue is like Pilarte. I don't see a huge skill discrepancy here either, you know. So, I mean, I guess I'm okay with him being the favorite because I feel like the skills are like semi comparable, and he does have the reach, but I don't know. Pilarte just doesn't really. He's not always like landing a ton either, you know. I don't know. I just kind of feel like nah, like I'm fine with it being closely lined, I guess.
Yeah, agreed. I have no real strong opinions on this. Newson actually looked okay against Ramos despite losing because he was in there for like one day's notice.
Yeah,
I'm actually kind of surprised Newson hasn't gone flyweight. Like you think he looks like a flyweight. I'm checking if his earlier fights were a flyweight. No, doesn't seem like it. Like he's a short bantamweight. But I don't know, so it goes. I think Newson's in a vacuum if they're equal, if they had the same body type, if they were the same size and all that, probably favour Newson. But I feel like there's enough credence to the height and the length to explain the slight favouritism. But
it is monstrous too.
Yeah, pretty much. Like in a vacuum, I'd say Newson. Like in a vacuum where they're the same size, I'd say Newson like 55% of the time. But with the height difference, I'm happy to swing that back.
Yeah.
This is not big enough edge here to bother and
Yeah. Bautista and Johns. I agree with every person who hit Bautista early.
I think I got plus 20 for plus 125. Maybe plus 140. Can't remember. But Johns, Gassy probably should have lost that Smith fight. And just defensively open. And Bautista looks good too. I think people are giving him too much shit for the Sandhagen, having shit beaten down by Sandhagen.
Yeah, I do now that the line's closed though, because I haven't made a play, you know, because I didn't get in on the early action on Bautista. Now I do Bautista. I think will be able to pop back up mostly. Like that's what he does. He against Son, he gives up his back and he pops right up. I like that. And John's, anytime I've seen him in top control, he just lays in guard. He's like a classic Mike Grundy type of guy. It's like if you give up your back and fight hands, you can get back up, I'm assuming here. So I tend to think Bautista will be able to get back up. The thing, and I like Bautista's volume more. I think he's just got more offense, and he landed a shitload of strikes for Son. My one reservation, though, is I still think Johns can land some takedowns, and the fact that Bautista does kind of just trade, and Johns does hit kind of hard, So that was like the fact. I feel like Bautista could get hurt here. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I like him as a round winner if no knockdowns happened or anything, but you can't always. You can't assume that all the time. And I do think Johns hits a little harder, so that's kind of like where I'm at right now. Analyzing the fight is
makes sense.
I don't know, like what you think, if you deep taped it or what.
Honestly, I just kind of picked up Bautista because I saw the price was starting to fall, and I was like, all right, might as well take CLV.
Yeah.
I can get out of it pretty easily. I can get out of it for free at this point, so I'm like just kind of holding on to it, sort of forming my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't rate John's cardio or output that much. Like, it surprised me against Smith, he was still around round 3, but also felt like against Smith kind of won that fight.
Yeah.
It surprised me that like guard GMP got raised to higher from the back control in round 2.
Yeah. If Bautista, like if Johns doesn't hurt Bautista, I think Bautista wins. It's just I am afraid of, because Johns can hit actually pretty hard. It's kind of his saving grace almost. So I'm just worried of him like winning, Bautista being up and around and then getting hurt. Like that would be so annoying. But I tend to fade those type of situations. But this one, I don't know. It's just kind of like one of those. That's kind of where I'm at. I think Bautista is definitely the side if you got in on him early. And even now, I think he's probably fine. I don't know if I'm going to make a bet though.
Yeah, it's similar sort of thing to Martinez versus Ewell to me, where it's like I feel like Bautista is. I prefer Martinez. I prefer Bautista and Martinez both at like 55-60%. But also, I think there's a massive value proposition there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just think that they're quite close fight. They're sort of 50-50 fights, and might as well take the dog because you're on the right side of the line movement.
Yeah.
Like, if you're taking plus 125s until 50-50, you're going to profit long term.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't really have a strong enough read on either of these guys to go with confidence and be like, oh, Bautista's going to dominate him or John's going to dominate him.
I kind
of like Bautista's game a bit more.
I do like a lot of Bautista's game. Like he can even grapple with top game too. Like he did that on the regionals a lot. You didn't get to see that really against Sandhagen or Son, but yeah. Lee and Murphy, I don't have much to say here. I don't think Murphy is all that bad. I do think Lee's better though.
Lamenting your max hypermax play on Lee against Calderwood.
Yeah, I played her. I played
That
Lee.
was a mess.
Yeah, that was a mess. That was a bad bet by me. I also played Lee. I lost on that. Who else did I play? Who else did she fight this year? I played her twice. De La Rosa. I actually.
She dominated. She kicked shit out De La Rosa, didn't she?
Yeah, I had her on both. I thought the grappling would work a little more against Calderwood, and Calderwood just kind of defended it, but that was a bad play.
The heat in that arena was ridiculous by all accounts. Like, I feel like if it was like not 40 degrees in there, Lee keeps dominating with the grappling as she did early.
Yeah.
It was still a close fight from memory. I haven't really thought about it for a while.
It was super close. Yeah.
So like if the heat had been slightly if the heat had been slightly less with a dominating issue, I think you could have easily seen Lee just hitting one more takedown pretty much.
I should have given more respect to Calderwood's volume on the feet. She just lands a lot. Like I think kind of in that Angela Hill space where she's a little underrated, and I kind of like she caught my attention in that fight. But don't really have much to say here. Wouldn't play Lee at these odds. Morono and Williams. I taped. A lot of people seem to jump on Morono, which I agree with. I mean, I think he should win here unless if Williams kind of lands a meme KO or gets some control against the cage or on the mat.
Yeah, pretty much. Cullen just doesn't seem particularly good at anything. Morono minus 150 or whatever he was like yesterday would have been a good strong play, but the current price is there. Yeah. Morono's main issue is just lack of athleticism. But Cullen doesn't really look like a plus athlete himself by all accounts.
Yeah, he's a pretty skillful striker though. Like he's not like super athletic, but the thing I hate about him is how he can't defend takedowns and he doesn't have the best get ups. That's kind of like if Max Griffin did his meme double leg throughout that fight, he probably would have won easily. You know?
Yeah.
Instead, he struck for 2 rounds and lost. So
I think some of that. I think at least some of that's function of Morono's lack of athleticism. He just seems quite weak and slow by UFC by comparison to UFC competition. Like he's skillful. Like if you put his skill set in even sort of a B plus athlete, he'd probably be like mid ranked. Probably like mid level ranked fighter. He just is not very athletic.
yeah, he also think Morono could catch this guy in a guillotine. I was watching and some like lower level guy almost guillotined Williams, and Williams doesn't really know how to grapple on the mat. So if Morono gets like a dominant position on the mat too, and Morono's got a good guillotine, so I think Williams is going to have to land a big shot or win rounds via control, because I think Morono will be the minute winner on the feet, but
yeah, 100%.
Morono does have that hole of just getting held down though, which is always scary. Arroyo and Giles, I honestly,
after seeing Arroyo's last fight, I'd have to go Giles because Arroyo was just so fucking dumb.
I just think it's kind of a close fight.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like both got like Giles can be. I feel like I honestly think Arroyo's probably value because I think this is another kind of 50-50, but it's almost like in that Ewell Martinez space too, where I'm kind of like it might like there might be marginal value, but do I really want to like invest in this? You know?
Yeah, agreed. No strong opinions.
Here we go. Lewis Latifi.
This is going to spoil my pick for Juan Adams versus Tafa, but it perplexes me. There are people in this world who are playing Lewis minus 270 and who think Juan Adams is too untrustworthy. At minus 240.
Adams is even lower than that on some books.
Like, come on, Lewis is a mess.
Yeah.
Like Latifi does hit pretty hard. Like again, if I can play this, I'll probably get to play Latifi because plus 230 or pretty much anybody against Lewis is playable. Because Lewis can just throw no volume. Lewis is very hittable. Lewis is vulnerable in the bottom phases.
It's funny, when you look for a chance for an upset, like Chookagian Shevchenko later, you can kind of start limiting Chookagian's chances for a finish, right?
Yeah.
Or just like any fight, even like Chiesa RDA, who is kind of in a similar space of price as Latifi Lewis. Like I pretty much could say like Chiesa is not going to get a finish in that fight. Or it would be like just kind of a meme occurrence, right? If it happened. But Latifi could seriously win by knockout, sub, or decision here.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, like he could. He does that like DC single leg where he kind of crotchless you against the cage. Like he could win with that. He doesn't have the best top control, and he always goes to a guillotine. But I tend to think Lewis can probably just like explode out of him. But at minus 270, I don't know. And then Latifi could just land a big shot too, or Latifi could just win some meme decision of Lewis not doing anything. Like there's way too many win conditions for Latifi. Like I'm not. Yeah, I guess that's kind of my thoughts.
Like even like Lewis's probably best like chance to winning here is just a swinging match. And even the swinging match, I don't see how you can give Latifi plus 220, plus 230. Latifi does legitimately hit hard.
Yeah, Lewis is probably a little more.
He probably hits harder. But like I'm just saying, but the fact that they're gonna both get a swing and they both probably land on each other.
Latifi's probably faster, honestly.
Yeah, Latifi's probably fast. I think Latifi's strike is a bit more technical.
Yeah,
at least more defensively aware. Like again, it's just Lewis. Yeah, even with Lewis having durability and probably power edges, it's a swinging match you're expecting. How are you gonna get anybody minus 300 in a swinging match?
Yeah, no, I agree.
This is like the sort of welterweight brawlers, where it's just like it doesn't really matter who the fuck they are. I'm taking any of the welterweight brawlers at plus 250 against each other.
Yeah,
just because they're going to swing, and people think swinging is a lot lower variance than it really is.
Yeah.
Like if you have actual striking experience yourself, you learn pretty quickly. Swinging each other, anything can happen.
Yeah, that's why striking is just a higher variant sport or a higher variant sport than grappling. You know,
even Latifi ITD at plus 420 is not bad. Like Lewis. I mean, is Lewis durable? Like, he kind of has this playing possum ability where he just kind of swings back out of getting hurt and that sort of stuff. But
yeah,
is he like legitimately durable?
JDS, like I know JDS like has better kind of distance management and technical boxing than Latifi, but JDS like fucked him up multiple times. Like I don't see why Latifi can't, you know.
And that's the corpse of JDS. Like we've established, JDS is fucked.
Yeah.
I
wouldn't play Derek Lewis minus 270 over anyone.
Yeah, pretty much. Like unless it was even like TNC competition, honestly.
Because he might just stare at you. Like,
yeah. Well, he might just get hit once in the body and fall and crumble.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of issues there.
Yeah. Okay. Ige Bektic.
Oh God.
A lot of people are all about this fight. I taped it. I think I don't know. It's weird because I really didn't like Ige striking all that much, but he like it looked, busy and he threw like a lot of. I feel like it looked pretty good against Aguilar, and he was at least like aggressive. Bektic doesn't land much on the feet. I do think Bektic is the better positional wrestler, though. Like, I don't think Ige can hold Bektic down all that much, where Ige has been held down a lot. So, I give an edge to Bektic in the grappling. I don't think it's like incredibly massive, but I do give him an edge there. And then on favor,
I mean,
that's kind of how I feel.
I'd give Bektic more from the small edge. Like he dominated Lamas in the grappling, and not many people have ever done that to Lamas.
Yeah.
I take each. I mean, Lamas looks a bit shot at the moment, but I take Lamas over Ige pretty confidently if it was like a decent. If Lamas was okay.
I think the line's about right. I'm fine with Bektic being a favorite. But
yeah, so my thing is more just Bektic's fragility and cardio issues.
Yeah, and the fact that he just always he's really good defensively as a wrestler, like really legit. He's really hard to hold down. I feel like if he grappled, sometimes he'll shoot like 9 takedowns in a fight, and then sometimes he'll shoot 4. So that's kind of where I'm having difficulty here. But even on the feet, I don't really know. Bektic has trouble landing sometimes. That's his issue. Like he can't close distance and really land. But I tend to think Bektic is going to win here, but he's implied 60% to win. I don't. Do you put him 70? Like I don't know if I would.
Nah, I'm not playing him. Bektic's first Pico. That's what we need to see. That'd be hilarious. It'd just be a mirror match essentially, where they're both gods for the first 7 minutes. They're just both hilariously fragile.
Yeah. Yeah. No play for me here. Well, let's get. Oh my God. Adams and Tafa. This is my only play on the card right now. I got in on Adams at minus 185, and you can get him minus 220 still. And I've gotten some shit from just like people who I talk with MMA, but I think Adams should be minus 400 to 500.
I could see him past that, but yeah, how does Tafa win this apart from a wild haymaker?
That's Tafa's way to win. Is to throw some like a wild punch that puts Adams away, and I'm willing to say that doesn't happen at a super high clip, especially at the implied odds. And we can just rant about this fight for a little bit, but the way I see it is Adams can seriously grapple him and violate him on the mat. And if you watch Tafa's regionals, he's just not a good grappler. And you and I actually had, what was that fight?
Castro? Oh yeah, that one. Long Island now. Tamarapia.
So the first round of his fight against Tamapia or whatever, which was less than a year ago, so it's super recent. Last time we saw his grappling, the first round's not available, and it looked worse than the other rounds in his regionals on the mat. I don't think any of the listeners have probably seen it. I think a few have, but I'm telling you, it looked much worse than the other two fights, and the other two fights were really bad on the mat. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. It's just Tafa's just kind of regional. He's regional heavyweight, and Adams was minus 500 against. He was minus 500 against De La Rosa, and he was minus 500 against Sean Teed. And I don't see how you could differentiate Tafa from them, in superiority or anything. I just don't see it. And
I'd say Teed and De La Rosa both beat Tafa pretty comfortably, in my opinion.
I would think so too. And it's just Adams actually has grappling. I actually like his wrestling. He was a D1 wrestler, and he wasn't bad. He was ranked in the top 25 at one point, and he actually does shit. He'll grab tight waist far ankles and get you down. He'll do Turks. He actually knows how to ride, and he has his flaws, but it's almost like the Angela Hill thing, where I feel like Adams is kind of like a 40th percentile type of heavyweight. I think he's somewhere in that low to mid range, and I feel like Tafa's not UFC level. That's pretty much what I see, and I just don't get why Adams was minus 500 against this level of competition, and then he lost to Bowler in a fight that I thought he should have probably won. It was a close fight though, and he didn't have his best part of his game in that fight. He couldn't actually grapple against Bowler because Bowler's a good wrestler defensively too. And so I don't know, the way I saw it against Bowler is Adams showed he could just volume you up on the feet too. So it just showed me another win condition. I actually took a positive from that performance than a negative. And then Greg Hardy, he shot a single leg on Hardy after he actually had popped Hardy with a jab, by the way.
Yeah.
And, he shot in, and it was just kind of Hardy has really good hips, and he's super fucking athletic. And Tafa does not have those type of hips or that sprawl. I've seen his fights, and I feel like anytime Adams goes for a takedown, he's going to take down. I don't like to speak in absolutes a lot. I'm not a hot take type of guy, but I really feel like Tafa's only way to win is with a knockout. And if he wins by knockout, I wouldn't care. I would just be whatever,
Pretty much. And also, it's Tafa's training with the Tuivasa squad. So it's unreal. Is Tafa going to improve his grappling with the Tuivasa squad?
And
realistically. It's the Tuivasa squad are a bunch of idiots.
Yeah, I don't always know how to measure who trains with who, because I just kind of see have I seen in their fights that they can compete in certain positions, and he's seriously just really low level on the mat. And I don't think people realize Adams is actually a decent wrestler, especially for heavyweight. I don't get why people think he's so bad. I think he's fine. I don't think he is going to win a belt or anything, but I don't know.
I honestly believe Adams is a potential ranked fighter at heavyweight. I don't think he's ever the fighter that's bought on fire, but really, Blade, he's not too dissimilar from our Blades fights. In fact, he's probably a better striker from Blades.
I don't know. I haven't thought about it in that sense, but it's all his LFA fights. Juan Adams has pretty much murked everybody, and he does it just with takedowns and a good top game, and he's done that against Teed and De La Rocha, and we didn't see it against Bowler because Bowler can actually wrestle. He's not a guy you're just going to go take down, and I just don't see. I feel like Tafa's in the similar tier as the guys he was fighting before Bowler. I don't know, and yeah.
I think Tafa's worse than the bunch of them, to be honest. I think Teed and De La Rocha have more functional games than Tafa. Like, Tafa's not even that good a striker.
And Tafa against that Tommy Piao guy, he lost that first. Like, it's not on the internet. He lost it. Like, if you watched it, I don't know what the judges gave, but he was on his back pretty much the entire round. He was mounted, and he didn't know what was going on. And even in his fight versus like Tialaga or that other one, he was losing a lot of that fight too, and then he kind of rolled on top. And he was really tired too. And it wasn't like he was dominating those guys. And all three of those guys, Joyner, Tama Piao, and Tialaga, none of them have beaten anyone with a win. So it's like Adams was losing rounds to guys who've never beaten anyone with a win. So it's just like a competition thing. And I actually don't think Adams is that bad. Like, Adams has his flaws. He gets tired. And that will cost him going against the better competition and better heavyweights. And I do think he's hittable, so he can be put away, and he could maybe even get knocked out here. But that's pretty much it. Like, I feel like he's at a ridiculous advantage everywhere.
Yeah, pretty much. He's got massive height advantage, massive reach advantage, more functional striking, massive grappling golf.
Yeah.
I think he probably is more durable than Tafa, or at least he takes punches better. Like, on the regionals, multiple times Tafa gets punched and then starts grappling. Tafa was panic wrestling on the regionals.
And that's another thing about Tafa and all his regionals. He likes to grapple, and I feel like that will just get him front headlocked here. I could see. I understand like fights play out. If they play out 100 times, they always look different. So it's just like a distribution of probabilities. But the way I see this is either Adams is going to come out and just immediately get to takedown and kind of maul him, or I think Tafa is going. I think Adams is going to come out. Tafa might even initiate grappling. That's what he does a lot. That's kind of like his thing. Whenever he gets overwhelmed, he goes for takedowns, and Adams pours it on you right away.
Yeah. I just think there's a good chance this fight is just Adams comes out, jabs him 3-4 times. Tafa does not like being jabbed.
Yeah.
And Tafa goes for a stupid, ugly double leg.
And then he's going to get thrown on his back, and he's going to get seriously mauled. It's like
he's going to get sprawled on, that'll be it.
Yeah, that's the way I see it. Like, I try not to be like too confident, like even like Hill. I understood Cyphers could just keep some rounds competitive, and she could win a decision. But here, I'm trying to like think of the ways Tafa wins. He's going to have to land a big shot that just puts Adams completely out. Yeah. And if the fight just plays out, he's going to get mauled on the mat at some point. I would just be shocked if he didn't, And I guess could. I mean, if Adams gets really tired, but Tafa was gassing on the regionals worse, and Adams can at least fight through it,
Yeah, pretty much. And also it's just like I can't see. Like, sometimes with guys of Tafa's level of experience, you can kind of go, well, they might just randomly improve. And like, I know you're not big on camps, but the Tuivasa squad is a camp I'm willing to fade.
Yeah.
Like, what would you like? I'd probably price like Adams like mine, Tuivasa. Tuivasa is a better, more athletic, bigger version of Tafa.
Yeah.
Adams could skill-wise actually beat some decent heavyweights. Like, the close law decision lost to Bullard, no real shame. And against that Hardy, essentially just got Travis Brown elbowed. It wasn't literally Travis Brown elbowed, but it was the same sort.
Even if you just go like away from the tape, like the numbers of Juan Adams are also good. They're really good. He lands 7 significant strikes per minute, and he only absorbs 4. And a lot of those came from that first round, first 30 seconds. There's a 45-second fight versus Hardy, and he got hammer fisted, 36 times? He got 36 significant strikes. So that kind of messed with his absorption metrics. He only lands 1 takedown per 15, but 15 of the minutes was against Bowler, where he wasn't like, there's no point to go for takedowns there, which I agreed. And he doubled up Bowler on the strikes. And then every other fight with Adams, the Contender Series fight versus De La Rocha, every LFA fight, he's just constantly going for takedowns. So I think his takedown average is probably much more than 1. I think it's probably like 3 per fight. So that's the way I see it. I don't think we need to rant about it anymore. My
thing is, I said I got the Lewis fight. I just do not see how people here. Like Latifi has massively more potential than Lewis, than Tafa to win this fight, and Adams has a way more coherent game plan than Lewis.
And Latifi's a bigger underdog.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It mystifies me. Anyway, Shevchenko versus Chookagian. We're fight of the year contender.
I mean, Valentina will probably get some takedowns here and some top time. There's always been that theory of someone outvoluming Shevchenko, but Shevchenko is really good at not getting hit at the same time, because even Joanna's one of the best volume strikers in the sport, and her significant strikes were way down versus Valentina. Yeah. But I think Valentina is going to win. Wouldn't play her minus 1400 either,
But what if I told you Chookagian could win on volume without landing strikes?
I mean, if they stare at each other, I could see a few rounds being competitive here. I could just
see it being like one of those things where Chookagian throws 4 strikes in a combo, which everything whiffs. Shevchenko lands 1 strike, which lands, and Chookagian still gets around.
Yeah,
I think that's very live. But yeah, it's gonna be a mess. I think Chookagian plus 800 is a bit overly wide just because of the volume disparity.
And shit happens in the sport too. But
yeah. I have no real strong opinions on this. Shevchenko, she's good, but it's hard to back her at her sort of price because of her inactivity.
For sure.
And usually my play here would be the over on Shevchenko, but it's minus 200 GTD. Yeah. There was a brief bit of hype where people were like, oh, Shevchenko's a finishing machine, and you could get GTDs at a decent price.
Yeah.
But the minus 200, just nah. I think minus 200 is probably, probably the real price. But yeah.
Yeah.
Even prop wise, we've got plus 400 Shevchenko sub over here, which would probably be my favorite play if I had to play prop. But apart from that, nah.
Yeah, I just don't really care that much. I kind of see it as can't play Valentina at these odds, but I think she's going to win. But I don't know. It's sometimes hard to quantify the exact win percentages in a fight like this. Jones and Reyes. I looked into this kind of heavy. I think Jones is going to win personally, but I do think Reyes can win. I know that's kind of a hedging type, it's a coward answer. But the way Jones is just so good at not getting hit much, and I feel like that Santos fight was really just kind of the leg kicks slowed down the volume of Jones, because Jones attempted, I think, only I really deep taped this and really looked into it, and Jones attempted, I think, only he went 59 of 90 total strikes, and every other fight that's just not, he attempts a couple hundred strikes.
Yeah.
And if you watch it, the range of the leg kicks were giving him issues, because I feel like Jones can't really be hit to the head and the body, and Thiago Santos went 9 of.
How big was his volume? Oh, no, actually, how big was his volume against Gustafsson? I just remember him I remember him not doing that much against Gustafsson compared to historical sort of giants.
I'll let you know in a second. Santos landed 9 of 92 head strikes. So like Jones, I know there's like a pocket of hipsters who kind of claim he's overrated, but he doesn't get hit to the head and the body, and that's just kind of in it. I do agree, light heavyweight isn't very good, but
Yeah.
he doesn't really get hit there, and we only have like 6 rounds of Reyes on tape, right? And then against Gustafsson, it was 2.5 rounds in, and Jones had attempted 106 strikes. Some of them were on the map, but most of them were on the feet. So he obviously threw a lot more than into Santos. Like, almost he was on pace to probably double up what he threw against Santos. But like the way I see it is Jones is just super hard to hit if you don't go to the leg. And of the 43 strikes Santos landed, 27 of them were leg kicks. You know what I mean? So that's my issue. Like, I think Reyes is good, and I guess I could maybe see him win. It's just Jones doesn't get hit to the head and to the body that much. So I just feel like if he throws a lot of leg kicks, which Reyes did a little bit against who was it? Ozdemir. I feel like it's going to have to be a major part of his game. And I don't know how I don't know if you taped it, but that was kind of why I think Jones should win. I think he'll be a little harder to hit, and Reyes was hit whenever when Ozdemir and what's his name OSP actually threw, they landed a decent amount of their head strike attempts. So yeah.
I'm taking a small shot on Reyes. I just think that John Jones' career has kind of been split into the sort of pre-OSP and post-OSP, and post-OSP just seems a lot less urgent and high volume than it used to be. I just haven't been liking the feel I've gotten from John Jones in recent years. Like, even against Gustafsson, he was kind of like, Gustafsson's like, look, dick or balls or testicle fell off, or whatever it was. I remember it was some weird injury. I feel like John Jones is just a lot less high octane than he used to be. It's hard to be too scientific. I just feel like a lot since the OSP fights, something which hasn't looked as driven about Jones. He's just lost some of that gear and some of that aggression.
Yeah, I do agree, maybe from like an aggression point of view, like an offensive point of view, but his actual defense has actually gotten better. Like according to the numbers, like I know people are all about tape sometimes, but even against Gustafsson's the only person ever to land more head strikes than Jones in a fight in their first fight. And then in their second fight, Jones dominated him. He really just dominated him on the numbers, and he more than doubled him up on the head strikes, So I felt like he showed improvements defensively. I do agree, like he isn't going out there and just mauling people offensively, but I still think he's I feel like maybe he's a little bit of a different fighter, but he's hard to land,
He is. I just like, but you should look at his recent sort of strength of schedule. You go like Santos would have won that fight if his legs didn't fall off.
Santos is also a monster, like with striking ratios on the feet too. He's 4.5. He lands 4.5 strikes per minute, and he absorbs 2. So he's kind of like. It wasn't something I really noticed going into that fight because I didn't really put much thought into that fight. But I guess him getting hit less in that fight was maybe a more predictable than it ended up it was actually maybe a little bit predictable.
Yeah. Even like OSP landed 57 times in Jones, and OSP is hardly a standing striking mastermind. Cormier was kind of winning the volume until he got finished in the third round.
Yeah.
Gus, like his testicle did fall off. You have to understand, it's a lot harder fighting with one testicle. And I feel like Gus has kind of been overrated ever since. I feel like that one Jones performance from Gus was just like the high watermark of Gus's career.
Agreed.
Like we've just never seen Gus look like that guy again.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it was a combination of Jones probably didn't take him as seriously as Jones should have. Gus was probably just on a I think Gus was just locked in. Jones was kind of locked out, and as a result, Gus just kind of overperformed.
Yeah,
and also I think a lot of it was Jones struggled to adjust to the fact that Gus was almost as big as him.
Yeah.
But by the time the rematch had come by, Gus had a lot more sort of mileage on him. Gus had he hasn't really looked as inspiring since.
Yeah.
Anthony Smith is Anthony Smith. I love Anthony Smith. He is Anthony Smith. I just feel like in his and Cormier is not an elite striker. I don't know. I guess it's not the most scientific pick ever, but I've got some Reyes at plus 410, and I'm taking this one.
I could see this being a thing where Reyes. I honestly think Reyes is a lot better than a lot of the guys he's been beating for sure. Like I could see that. But I guess whenever I was getting a little more scientific with it, like the way I see it is Dominic Reyes isn't getting takedowns here. You know, like
Yeah.
like if he gets one, he's not holding John Jones down. So a ground path to victory is pretty much off the table, right? And a submission. Where Jones, I do think Reyes should probably I think Reyes is a pretty good defensive wrestler, and Jones's offensive wrestling has declined a little bit. But if anyone gets the wrestling going, you have to give advantage to Jones, right? So
yeah,
the way I see it in the grappling, you have to give advantage Jones. There's a solid chance it doesn't come into play on the feet. So Reyes has to knock him out, right? Or he has to knock him out, which will be tough. Jones has a great chin; he's hard to hit. So pretty much what you're left with is Reyes has to win a 5-round striking fight on volume. And I've only seen him fight 2 fights in 3 rounds. So I feel like it's hard to be super passionate about Reyes too. That's kind of the way I see it.
I agree with the logic, definitely.
Yeah. But at the same time, I have liked everything I've seen from Dominic Reyes, and Jones. I do think like a lot of his competition that he has fought aren't great, but he's definitely the more proven commodity. And just I feel like there is a narrow win condition for Reyes, but who knows? Like maybe he lands some head strikes. Maybe he is just a little better than some of the other guys Jones has been fighting.
It's not very scientific, and like this isn't. I just got Jones' recent, I guess, trajectory / momentum just hasn't really impressed me.
Yeah,
I've just got a feeling. I just have this feeling that Jones is slipping quite significantly and hasn't really been shown because he's been going against relative soft competition. But again, it could be a thing where say that even the Thiago Santos could have got Jones to sort of take it more seriously again. Like Jones just seems to be cruising lately. I think Reyes will make this interesting.
He could.
Or Jones, or like there's also a good chance that Jones just Jones and destroys him inside 6 minutes.
Like that's the thing. Like that's the thing. I could see Jones just fucking him up too. You know?
Yeah, so I could see Jones making him look like that.
Yeah,
like Jones Bay. 100%. I do agree. It's like I just have this weird feeling Jones is either get shit on him or is going to look bad.
like I could see Jones just peppering him with his teep kicks for like multiple rounds and just doubling him up easily, or just fucking him up. If he happens to kind of fall into a grappling situation, I could see him just elbowing shit out of Reyes too. You know.
Yeah.
And Jones has some of the best cardio in the game. You know, he's got really good cardio. So we've also not seen. I don't know. That's the way I see it. I think the line's perfectly fine, to be honest. But
I was expecting it to be close. I was expecting like plus 200 on Reyes, just because I feel like Jones' vibe has been a bit off.
Yeah.
Like I some reason I thought Reyes, because he's like this under commodity and all that, would have some, I guess, like hype behind him.
Maybe it happens though. Maybe late action comes in on him just because people think about the Santos fight.
True. I don't know. I think there's a good chance. I just have this feeling it'll be interesting. Like it isn't particularly scientific, very appealing based on tape or anything. I just think, like, I don't usually put myself out on the limb with you guys, but I've got a feeling. I got plus 410, so I'm like way ahead of the line anyway. So
I do think there's a few arguments you can make that, although they're not extremely scientific, that I could see this getting interesting, you know, and like Reyes is long too, and I could see Jones not just being able to completely dominate the range because of that.
Yeah.
So like, he has a legitimate, really fast straight left, Reyes, and he's accurate. So I could see some shit getting interesting. But it's almost like I'm just willing to go with the proven commodity. Like I know what Jones is, and I know Jones is really good, and you can't get numerous win conditions going. He's literally the best defensive wrestler maybe ever. He's pretty much impossible to take and hold down. So,
yeah, great.
but
I just have a feeling. Like it's not a very scientific feeling, but for some reason I've just got a feeling that we'll see something.
Yeah, I'm just not touching it. I'm excited though. I hope it would be cool if Reyes upset him.
Yeah, I think this is the most interesting John Jones fight in a while. Like pre-fight.
Yeah.
Like Thiago Santos turned out to be interesting, but like in terms of like shit on him.
Yeah, I do agree that I think it's not one where I'm completely dismissing Reyes.
Yeah.
Where
guys like Anthony Smith and Gus, it's kind of like
Yeah, especially Anthony Smith. I was like, why is this happening? Type of thing.
Because Anthony Smith is the goat.
I like Anthony Smith. I just
how could you dislike Anthony? He seems like a nice guy. He's kind of taken his beatings in the regionals, but he's kept at it. Yeah.
I mean, I just don't like him going against some of the more elite fighters, But I like
the fact that they beat what's his name? Gustafsson was fucking hilarious. Gustafsson just deciding to do nothing for 2 rounds, then winning the 3rd round easily, then kind of falling over and getting naked choked. That was truly an interesting fight.
Yeah. But I think that's everything. I feel like we really dragged on the last 3 fights, so sorry to the listeners. I feel like I was kind of annoying on this podcast, but we'll talk about. I mean, we'll do a weekly podcast going forward. A lot of coming up, so
yeah, good times. Addison Blachowicz next week, which is a pretty good card actually.
Fun card, a lot of good spots too.
Thanks for listening. Shout out to the boys, whoever the boys are. All right, nice to see you.
See you, bud.
Yeah.